Today's Murli is about aim and objective. And I was just thinking that if there is no aim, so have you seen people who have no aim? And no aim, no objective. So don't know why they are living, don't know what their life is for, no direction towards which they are moving, no aim, no objective. Have you seen such people? And when we say that, we are still thinking about people who have no aim and no objective in the material world. So no aim to achieve something or, have a label, have a title, nothing. So that's about the material world. And sometimes there is this sanskar of being aimless. Yes, so there is no aim, there is no target, no goal, nothing. It's just, I'm here to live life and there is no direction. So you don't know where you want to go. So that's a very difficult situation in the world also to deal with. In the material realm also, that's a difficult situation to deal with when somebody doesn't have an aim and objective. And then, when there is no aim and objective, it's very difficult to inspire that person. It's very difficult to put them on track. And then here Baba is talking about the spiritual aim and objective. And sometimes, we have a material aim and objective. Sometimes we don't even have that. And that's another level of difficulty. But then even when there is a material aim, then the driving force behind that material aim is vices. So your greed is driving you, or your attachment is driving you, or the pursuit of recognition and appreciation and approval and name and fame and material acquisition. All that is driving you. Your desires are driving you. That's vices driving you. And then when vices are driving somebody, then it's very probable and possible that they will make mistakes. They will do the wrong thing to reach where they want to reach, because the vices delude the intellect. So the intellect gets deluded that, and there are these expressions by hook or by crook. So, we will always try to get something I want. So when there is this energy of I want something material, then this question of I'll get it by hook or by crook will also come up. And then that becomes the reason why we do what we shouldn't do, and we neglect and reject the way we do. So sometimes you will not do the right thing. Sometimes you will abstain from taking the responsibilities you should, or taking care of the ones you should, and all that neglect, rejection, and all of that improper, inaccurate karma takes place because the driving force is vices. So let's check whether we have a sanskar of having an aim. And then B, is my aim materialistic, and am I driven by vices? So these are two situations where I have to first check myself. And then comes the question of having a spiritual aim, because when we say spiritual aim and objective, then Baba says the picture of your aim and objective is Lakshmi Narayan. So you want to be a deity. So shifting from a human to a deity is our spiritual aim. But then we have to do that while living here and doing what we do. So when we say spiritual aim, it's about doing what we do while focusing on who we want to be, and then doing what is needed also for who we want to be. So there are two aspects to it. First is you do what you do because that's how you sustain your body, and there are karmic settlements. So you do what you do, but you do it in a manner that it corresponds to your aim, or it is in synchronicity with your aim. So you do it in a manner that doesn't create vikarma. So that's one thing. But then that's not enough. Then you also do what is required to shift from a human to a deity. So we need clarity about the fact that I am a soul working in a physical context. So my physical context is my limitation. I'm limited by my physical context. So I have to be cautious when I am in my physical context, that physical context doesn't start dictating my actions, and I'm able to keep my knowledgeful state intact and abstain from vikarma. So that's there. So I understand that there is a physical context, and I'm not free to choose everything. So, and you are stuck with some people, some things, some work which may not be of your choice, which you don't even like. But then you have to be there, be with all of that, and still maintain a state of lightness and happiness and bliss and power through knowledge. So that's one challenge. And then the second thing is, this is the time to earn the income for the next 21 births. And there are some things that I need to do for that, which is purity, remembrance, and seva. Yes, so even if I manage my Lokik life according to Srimad, that's not enough, because we have to earn an income for 21 births, and we have to burn the sins of the last 63 births. So there has to be a lot of, attention on remembrance, and then there has to be attention on purity. So, and then there is seva that I need to do, whether it is through the mind, through speech, through money, through body. All kinds of seva is required. Now, when we have clarity about the fact that I have to also think about who I want to be and my spiritual aim, and the understanding that I have to manage my physical context knowledgefully, and then I have to earn the income and burn the sins. So, there is income earned through seva and sins burned through remembrance. So, when I have clarity about how I have to move about, then comes the question of whether I'm doing it. So, there is, once I understand it, then I have to pay attention to whether I do it. And then today, Baba talks primarily about two things. One is, remember me. If you don't find time in the day, wake up in the night and remember me. And yesterday, Baba said, even if you do that, you will not fall ill. I guarantee you that. So, it is important that I understand 63 births of burden of sin I have and check whether I remember Baba enough to burn away those sins. So, how many of you think that I really pay that much attention to remembrance? So, I sit and, consider myself a soul, and in that detached state, I feel the presence of the ocean of love and peace and draw in that peace and light and love inside of myself. How many of you think that you really pay attention to it? And in one manthan, I told you that if you're doing it 3 hours a day, then that remembrance is good enough to save you from creating more vikarma. And if you want to be in a state where your earlier sins get burned, then that remembrance has to be 8 hours a day. Okay, so let's ask ourselves first whether I really chalk out time, and I have created a timetable for yoga, and I have really taken out 8 hours of time to pay attention to my inner state and draw in Baba's power and love. And the most important thing is the foundation, which is early morning, Amrit Vela. And Amrit Vela can be longer, so one can start from 2 in the morning and it can go up to 5. So I think at least 4 to 5 you cannot miss, because that's the foundation. If that foundation is not there, then whatever you are doing in the day doesn't matter too much, because the foundation is not strong. So obviously, when the foundation is not strong, the structure cannot be built on it. And B, even if I have paid attention to Amrit Vela, let me look at the chart of the whole day also. So this is one thing that Baba says, if you have an aim and objective, so you also need to check whether your actions are in alignment with your aim and objective. Because just saying that I have an aim and objective is not enough. Yes. And then Baba says the second thing, which is, are you trapped in name and form? So, are you trapped in name and form? What is trapped in name and form? So, are you under the illusion that a person or a thing will come to your support at the time of need? Or are you under the illusion that you belong to someone or someone belongs to you? All these are various ways of getting trapped in name and form. Or um, or or the sign of being trapped in name and form is your thought, your physical energy, and your wealth is flowing to that person more than necessary. So, you are, so that's trapped in name and form. You can be relationship conscious, you can be body conscious, you could be role conscious, you could be anything. But then, because of that, your thoughts, your wealth, your physical energy is going to that person. And it's not just a matter of settling the account, because you see, there are some cases like when a child is young, so there is a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old, then you have to take care of them. That's karmic settlement. Yes, otherwise that guilt will know in your heart, because that's a form of karmic settlement and you have to take care of them. You cannot run away from it. But then if the child is 16 or 18 and then you're worrying too much about them, or you're still promising them that everything that I have belongs to you and that you can be who you are, you can do as you want, and anyways I will shower all my wealth on you, then that's being trapped in name and form, because then we have not understood that I am a soul and I belong to Baba and my everything is for Baba's task. And there are some obligations that we have to fulfill them. And especially one primary obligation is children until they grow up. But then if you are trapped in name and form, then they will refuse to grow up. And you are the reason for that. And I have seen parents who create liabilities in the form of children, and then they keep taking care of their liabilities. And then they say it's a karmic settlement, but it's not a karmic settlement for which you will be applauded and felicitated later on. It's a vikarma that you're creating, for which Dharamraj will really put you in the gallows. So one has to be very careful about what we are doing, because there is one thing which is called past settlement, and past settlement means there is somebody who is young and incapable of taking care of themselves right now, and then you have to do that because it's a child, you have a biological connection and there is a legal obligation and all of that, and that's karmic settlement. But this is not karmic settlement, that you raise a child so that they become a lifetime liability to you. That's not a karmic settlement. That's karma you have created knowingly, and then that karma just gets perpetuated more and more if you try to, take care of them. So there is so even animals have the sense that they give birth to babies, and then when the baby's wings get strong, they leave them. So they leave them to fly and fend for their own. But then we humans don't do that, because humans have vices and vices are dictating how we behave in the world. So we have to understand that we do what's necessary, and we are not creating karmic accounts in the name of relationships and attachments and this and that. And then you see that um, Baba says that your body, mind, and wealth is for me, for my seva. Let's talk about mind. So, sometimes, your mind is not trapped in worry of a person or not concerned about a person, but maybe work. So you're too much thinking too much about work. So, we use this expression in the world, too much, and too much means more than necessary. So there is a distinction in the world we make between necessary and too much. Yes, so when it's too much. And that's when we understand it's ego driving us, and we are not maintaining our attitude, of soul consciousness and remembrance of Baba and knowledge of drama. So I have given you this class earlier about how to position your attitude between knowing that you are a soul, knowing that drama is predestined, and knowing that Baba is with you. So whenever we are doing work also, we have to have this position in our attitude where I know that whatever has to be shall be. So there's not much I can do about the consequences. So why worry about the consequences? And while doing everything, I'm soul conscious and in remembrance of Baba, and I do my best. So do your best and leave the rest. So what is to be left to Baba and what is to be done in soul consciousness, that clarity has to be there. Otherwise, you could get trapped in work also. So Baba says, take care that you don't get trapped in name and form. Don't let any human or anything linger on your mind, because your mind is for Baba's remembrance. Your mind is for harboring and cultivating the good wishes and good feelings that Baba needs your mind to cultivate in order to change the world. So, what is dominating my mind space? What is dominating my expenses? Where is my money going? Where is my energy going? Who am I thinking about? These are factors we have to consider, because we know that those who look very important right now and that which looks very important right now is going to just vanish in a second. And then because you were trapped in that, you didn't do what you had to do with your body, mind, and wealth in this birth. So this Sangam Yug and Baba and Baba's Shrimat have to be realized that God has come and this is my time to use my body, mind, and wealth according to Shrimat and create my fortune. And if I'm trapped, so I have to make a distinction between what is my karmic settlement and what has to be done, but then what is it that I'm doing because I'm trapped in name and form. And I have to, disentangle my resources from there and use it for self progress, spiritual progress, and for seva. So Baba says that when you have clarity about your aim and objective, that I am a soul and this birth is for me to inculcate divine virtues, for me to earn the blessings and punya karma by doing seva, and to burn the sins of past births, then you will be able to check how much remembrance I am in and whether I am trapped in name and form, and then you will be able to change your actions to change the consequences. Okay, so this is something. And then today Baba talks about the balance between feelings and knowledge, and the balance between yoga and love, snehe or yog. So this is very, very important because human beings are sensitive beings, and we have, even in Kali Yuga, we are very, very sensitive, and there is a lot of feeling, bhavna. So, India is a bhavna pradhan desh, and we are all very full of bhavna. So there is bhavna, and I remember that um, I was with, so I was talking to somebody. I was once, crossing India Gate, and there was this personal, on duty there. And I knew him because he was posted around my office some time back. And then he started talking to me, and then he said, I will tell you something interesting. During that conversation, he said that if I just spread a bed sheet here beside the road, and I throw some flowers and some coins and some 10 rupee, 20 rupee notes on it, then by evening that bed sheet will be full of money. Because people, while coming and going, will think that this is some kind of, a pious place, and then some people have donated, so let me also do that, and they will do it. And he was laughing about it. So you see that there is no dearth of bhavana. So bhavana is there. But then Baba says bhavana has to be balanced with knowledge. So this is a very crude example I'm giving, but there are many things that we need to understand about this balance of bhavana and knowledge. You see that I am talking about children today, and we have bhavana towards our children. We love our children, and then in that bhavana that they should do well and they should grow and they should, we have good bhavana for them, good feelings. But then we end up making them very dependent, crippled, and maimed. So, because we don't understand that teaching somebody how to take care of themselves is good karma. Taking care of somebody is not good karma. Taking care to teach somebody how to take care of themselves is good karma. But taking care of somebody is not good karma. So if you just tell somebody that you sit and I will take care of you, that's not good karma. And knowledge teaches us that. And when Baba comes, Baba doesn't say, you sit and relax and I will take care of you. Baba says, no, right from waking up early in the morning until you sleep at night, I'm telling you how to do things, how to think, how to get up, what to eat, what not to eat, how to spend. I'm telling you everything. And only when you do it yourself, then you will be able to be powerful and virtuous and be in a position where I and you both will not be afraid of you or concerned about you. So if you're too concerned, then you are creating a situation of concern. So bhavana has to be balanced with knowledge. If there is no knowledge that, and the first knowledge is every soul comes alone, goes alone, and it is only what we do as our karma. So every soul's karma is their only protection or the reason for their downfall. And nobody can take responsibility of another person's karma. So, and their karma decides their future. You cannot decide anybody's destiny. Everybody's karma will. So, it is very important that I teach you how to do good karma. If you are under my canopy, and if I am in a position, so as a mother, as a father, if you are in a position where you can teach somebody something, if you are a teacher, you can teach somebody something, then this is what you teach, that you take personal responsibility. And karma is important. How you do it, what you do. See, every soul is born with resources: body, mind, wealth, time, energy, the power to create relationships. Yes. So there is all these things that every soul has. And if you waste it, if you abuse it, then nobody can save anybody from that karma. And this has to be taught. And that's what taking care means. Taking care doesn't mean that you sit and relax and I will do your work. That's not taking care. So bhavana is good. So there is very good bhavana, but then there is knowledge is also required. Otherwise, without that knowledge, that bhavana becomes very dangerous. Yes. Another thing is, knowledge and bhavana means, let's say somebody is doing something wrong. Okay. Somebody is doing something wrong and you are enabling it. Yes, you are enabling it without knowing that you are the enabler. So, there is this term enabler which is used in psychology. So, there are parents who keep funding their children for drugs and parties and this and that. And then they keep saying that children don't listen. Children don't listen and children are not in control these days. But why are you giving them the money to do what they are doing out of control? So we are being enablers without even knowing. So they are using your money and doing things, or they are using your premises and doing things. So you have a right to stop that. So know where your rights are and what you can put your foot down and stop. Otherwise, you also become a participant in that karma because you are attached to them. And it is your attachment which is giving them that enabling thing. So, today Baba uses a very interesting example. Baba says, if somebody is not practicing purity and they want to go and meet Baba, so in Baba Milan they want to go, and then the sister, because they like that soul, they take them to Baba Milan, then Baba will say that this sister also needs to be fined for that. So, this sister will also get some part of the vikarma. She will also be punished for that. Why? Because I'm being an enabler. That person cannot go to Madhuban without I sending their name, and I am doing that not because of obvious reasons that they deserve to go, but because I have chosen to, because of some reason I've chosen to send them. So that's vikarma. So we become enablers in many places. Let's say somebody's bad behavior, okay, And then that bad behavior is not because that person, not because you can't stop them, but because you're so attached to them, and you are afraid that they might leave you if you protest. So you put up with the bad behavior because you're afraid to lose them. And then they are getting an idea that they can get away with that bad behavior. So you cannot change somebody, but then in the face of that situation, you're not making the choice you should make. And that is giving them the confidence that they can continue with that behavior. So you cannot choose, you cannot change anybody, but at least don't encourage wrong behavior under the guise that I can't change somebody. You can't change somebody, but don't encourage somebody. So somebody is being lustful or violent or so and so. There are means by which you can protect yourself. And you can put your foot down and say, I'm not taking this. You can continue this, but I'm not taking this. And there are choices to be made in that situation. And those choices also mean something. There are consequences for it. And one must not become enabler in any situation. So that's knowledgeful. So, and Baba used to also say that if somebody has a habit of lying and you give them the opportunity to lie. So let's say I know that if I ask you a question, you will lie, and I still ask you that question. That means I'm doing it I'm not being knowledgeful about it. So, Baba says, always see, what karma is getting created, what is the karmic destiny you are creating, what is the sanskar you are encouraging, what kind of culture are you creating. And Baba says, just bhavana is not enough. So you have good bhavana that somebody should eat well, and they want to eat something that is against Srimad. They want to drink, they want to eat things that are against Srimad, then you don't do it out of bhavana because, I thought that they would be happy. So they would be happy, but then they are not getting ever happy because that's vikarma they are creating, and you are also becoming part of it. So that's not knowledgeful. And then the most important thing is bhavana for Baba. So, there is bhavana that we express for Baba. Oh, I love Baba, and I belong to Baba, and Baba is mine, and I am Baba's. So we talk a lot in bhavana, but then check with knowledge. Do I do as Baba says? And Baba has very categorically said that I'm here for a task. I'm here to change Kalyug to Satyug. And this task requires cooperation. It requires very good cooperation from every child. And if I am not cooperating in Baba's task and just saying I love Baba, then that's bhavana without knowledge. And bhavana without knowledge in case of small children is appreciated. So, if a small child tries to bring water to you in his palms and make you drink, and in that process the whole water falls, you smile at it because the child has bhavana but no knowledge. But that suits a child. But after growing up, if that child does the same, then you question the intentions. Then the question arises whether he is a child or acting like a child and he knows everything, and whether his intentions are pure or not. And that's why Baba says, I am Bholanath, but I am smart enough to figure out if you are not working with pure intentions. And every child needs to check whether my bhavna is just, about talking sweet and saying Baba is mine and I belong to Baba, or knowledgefully I'm being a yogi and a sahiyogi. Because if I am not a yogi and a sahiyogi, then I am not knowledgeful. So this is something that Baba says about bhavna today, and the balance between bhavna and gyan. And then Baba also talks about the balance between love and yog, sneh and yog. So Baba has told us that we should have indirect relationship with souls. So while being affectionate to souls, we must be in connection with Baba. Keep Baba in between. Otherwise, that affection will soon turn into attachment and lust. And you will not even be, it will not even be easy to figure out. So Maya will deceive you very fast if you have no yoga and only sneha. If there is only love and no Baba's remembrance, and you are not remembering that this is an indirect relationship, and the purpose of this relationship is to connect this soul with Baba so they can prosper, then, and you also know that you are required only for some time, and when they build a direct connection with Baba, your job is done. So if you don't remember that much, then it is lust and attachment in the guise of love. And then lust and attachment are vices with detrimental consequences. So Baba says we need this balance between love and yoga, and then we need this balance between bhavna and knowledge. So Shanti.